In today's video, I am going to teach you the easiest ways to rank up and get better for absolutely free utilizing the Valve warm-up feature. We are going to go over here to practice, infinite warm-up, infinite ammo, choose the map that you want to learn on and get better. I suggest when you're starting out, you learn every single active duty map pool map because it's so important to your success. What I want you to do now is with all of these things we just did, you're going to be completely good to go. For me, I'm going to exec practice. This is not necessary at all. It's just going to allow me to fly around, no clip around, do these things. But for you, you definitely don't need to do this. It's just a cool little thing I had built in here. Maybe I'll make a video on how to make a practice server. But regardless, what we do here is get one of our rifles or whatever we want to get better at, pistols, rifles, anything. The very first thing you are going to focus on is your A and D key. And what I mean by this is your strafing, your left and rights, because in Counter-Strike, getting good at strafing is everything. When we're taking fights on any position, it always pays off to be able to strafe back and forth. One, for pre-firing, it's very effective, right? For doing these little peeks like this, but also just when we're even holding angles, it can be really good to just jiggle around like this because we're still accurate, right? So if we're here and someone peeks us, they're going to see a moving target versus a target that's just completely still. So I don't care if you have to get into a server and just sit here and go left, right, but practice utilizing these like movements and understanding that when you are strafing inside of this game, you are fully accurate when you are changing direction. Because why? Your movement speed is close to zero. In Counter-Strike, when your movement speed is close to zero or at zero, you are fully accurate, right? So I wasn't there because I shot before I moved, but right there I'm fully accurate because I'm shooting as soon as I am letting go of D and pressing A. So I'm holding D and then I let go and then press A, and in between that time I'm shooting, I'm fully accurate, right? So that's how you see pros do these crazy like these one taps, right, where they're top mid, because they're fully accurate when they're doing this. So if you want to learn how to Ferrari peek, it's super good. But in general, these are just the keys you're going to be using a lot. So just run around the server and practice not holding W or S as much and just going around with A and D. A and D. Move your mouse around if you need to adjust. Tap W every once in a while, but sit here and, you know, just pre-fire things. Practice with that because it's so effective. Very good. And you can throw in some crouches even. Very effective, very good. But before we get into the next thing that you can work on, I have to give you a message from the sponsor of today's video.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
Alright guys, so the next thing that you need to work on inside of your private servers that requires absolutely nothing other than you just being here is your spray control. Now your spray control is so important inside of Counter-Strike and a lot of new players don't understand what that means. So I'm just going to hold mouse 1 here, nothing else. This is the spray pattern of the AK. So our goal is to trace the opposite of it, but that can be very overwhelming and you're like, how do I learn that? One, it'll come with time and it'll just become muscle memory. I suggest you just work on the first part where you pull down, right? You can't really mess it up if you learn how far you need to pull down with these bullets, right? And we're never going to be perfect with this. Even pros, they're not perfect. They might have some crazy moments and insane stuff, but they even struggle sometimes with spray control. So literally just get into the server and practice shooting 5 bullets, then 10 bullets when you start getting comfortable, and then start trying to replicate the entire spray pattern. I don't know why I was choking on my words there. But replicate the entire spray pattern. It's very effective, very good. I'll need your thoughts and prayers as I struggle to speak as a YouTuber. That's very bad. But yeah, literally just go through all the different guns, learn the patterns. Like the Galil is a backward 7. Here's the spray pattern, and that one kind of looked like a circle, but backward 7, very easy. There you go. That's more simple. Boom, backward 7. So we're gonna trace the opposite of that, right? And then we can see we controlled it. Very valuable thing to do, very good, underrated. I practice my spray control every single day, even though I'm an opper inside this game. I don't even need to. But that leads me into the next thing that you can do to practice, and this is going to be with your aim as well. I'll use the op as an example here, but you can also do with an AK, but it's literally just practicing knowing how far you need to move your hand for common angles, right? So at first, we're going to do this box angle, and we're going to try to shoot right here every time and act like someone's peeking. So boom. Okay, actually with the op, I guess it's not good. Don't shoot with the op. Just practice like this, practice flicking. See, like even me, I just got on, I need to get locked in and adjust. But the more you do it, the more you start to understand, okay, I need to move my hand here, and you start to over flick less and less or under flick. and we can be a lot more smooth with it, right? So it's a very good practice to do. It can be kind of boring with the op, but with the AK, you can just sit here and, you know, practice boom, 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 boom. You can do this anywhere. Say connector, you want to practice these fights. Shoot the edge of the wall, right? Just to map out where it is, how far I need to move my mouse. And then you can start to visualize someone peeking you and start to peek in here, or shoot in here. Very effective, really good. One thing I'll do too, just to warm up my movement and my aim a bit, is I'll do a palace peek and then a ramp peek. So like palace peek and then ramp peek. Something like this, right? Where we're just practicing all these different mechanics. We visualize like players peeking us on these boxes. We can throw in some sprays. And then also one thing you got to get good at is spray transferring. So one thing I'll do is I'll sit here and then I'll just visualize someone peeking me left side and someone peeking me right side. Spray down, transfer over to this guy without letting go. Super valuable tool you can utilize our practice routine. Very effective, very good. Boom. Just learning where you need to move your mouse. And I'm actually disappointed with myself for the op. I need to do this a bit more at the op because my flicks are not on point. I mean, I'm under aiming, I'm over aiming, and it's okay. You got to realize that you're never going to be perfect with what you're doing. Even no matter how good you get, I've got 3,300 elo, you're never going to be perfect. And it's about learning, adjusting, and just, you know, if I see a weakness, we need to do better with this, right? We need to be a lot more mechanical, a lot more fluid, and understand our weaknesses and our strengths as a player. Now, one thing you're going to have to get really good at, and I hope that you guys have watched my videos and understood, we need to be able to bind our grenade keys and our guns to different buttons, right? So for me, I have all these bound here. You can pause the video and see that, but we need to get good at just pulling out these nades and our guns, right? So I'm shooting and I will pull my knife out. I just pull it out and run. It is so underrated to just practice this. If you're in a server, if you're a newer player, practice just, okay, pull my smoke out. Now pull my HE out. Now pull my molly out. Now pull my flash out, right? And practice throwing them. And then another one, right? And also that brings me into another point that I was going to bring up, is just throwing nades. Get comfortable just throwing nades around the server. No lineups, just like feels, vibes. Just see how things bounce, see how the grenades land, and get used to just like thinking on the fly with these nades. Because if you start doing this in a practice server, it'll come more natural inside of the game. When it's like, oh, okay, I know what to do. I just need to flash over, you know, maybe flash off the wall here and bang out, boom. And just get comfortable flicking and turning and throwing and doing all these things, because it will make you better. Too many new players suck with nades because you don't practice it in the server. And if you are practicing it, it's just a nade video where they're like, okay, line up here, aim like this, and then aim here. And it's very static and you're not actually like improving. You're not getting better because it's not really that effective, right? And speaking of not effective, we kind of mess up with this, but it's so important, guys. But if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button as we talk about one of our last tips here, and that is going to be practicing your movement. Now, it's so underrated, and you don't even need to like use a workshop map or anything. That helps, but you can just get into a server and practice getting good at the jumps you want to do. For me, I like to watch professional oppers and see their movement. So one of my favorite plays right now is to shoot here, throw a molly, and then go to my position. Boom, all like this, right? So if you practice these movement sets and these different things, as simple as one jump or as complicated as like 3 different things, you'll become so much better and you'll be able to improve your movement. The only way you're going to get better at it is by hitting these difficult jumps and doing these things that you might suck at, right? For me, I have to go for the ladder pick a lot, and when I'm not recording and having to talk, I can do it very fast, but when you're multitasking, it can be very hard. But just getting comfortable and familiar with the different things around the map and how to move and different ideas and, you know, jumps and all these different things is so important to increasing your skill ceiling. People don't understand it's actually very simple to improve this, but you've got to stay solid with it. And if you do a jump every single day for a month, I promise you by the end of the month, you'll at least be better than you were before. And then in your games, they're like, oh, dude, this guy's got great movement. Where did he learn this? Well, I did it myself. I just got into a server and did it over and over again. So I recommend using scroll wheel too. It definitely helps a lot for movement and jumping, but get good at it. Get good at these strafes and understanding how to play all these different things. If you do these things that I taught you today, as complicated as I probably made it sound and be, you will become a better player. I wish I would have been doing this stuff at 500 hours because it is truly that game changing and I mean life changing if you can get good enough at it. So keep working hard, keep improving, never be discouraged. Understand that every single player can make it inside of this game. I believe in all of you. I want my subscribers to grow and get better. Nothing makes me happier than seeing that. I won't take up any more of your time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Check out the videos you see on your screen right now, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.